next greater element to the extended version problem of the next greater element. The description of problem, and here you see the examples, and below the examples there is output and the constraint given, and here on the right side I wrote its code solution. So initially while storing here or running the loop, so I made n as our nums dot size. So wherever there is nums dot size and there everywhere. Okay, so it's also better to do this step, because it is easier to analyze our time complexity of our problem with respect to n. That's why we made this nums dot size as n initially, and we took a vector, integer vector answer, it with n comma 0. You can also initialize it with n comma minus 1. See, one thing you must note, that whenever we will do addition in the array, we have to initialize our array or vector with n comma 0. But whenever we multiply, we initialize our array or vector with n comma 1, because we have to take the product with the 1. And in the addition we will initialize our array or vector with n comma 0, because we are adding those element to 0, adding the element with the 0. Okay, so that we will always add the element with the 0 to get that same element. Okay, but here we will traversing the answer array twice, so that's why we have to update the element at the indexes of the answer array, update or replace, whatever you can say. So whenever we have to store or update or change the value of the element inside the array at their indexes, you have to make sure you have to initialize the array with its size n comma 0, or either with minus 1. This is different from the initialization while doing addition of the arrays. Here we are updating or replacing the values, so you can either initialize with n comma 0 or with an array size n comma minus 1. Both are fine. That will not give us error. Okay, so after this vector I took integer stack, and then I run my loop in the backward fashion from 2n minus 1 size minus 1 to the 0 index, and updating in backward fashion I minus updating I. And inside this for loop I need to remove invalid unnecessary elements, which are a smaller element. because I need here greater elements, so my condition, so I will pop those elements which are smaller. So this step we will do. Just before doing this step, we will apply the condition check. Stack size is greater than 0 means our stack is having some elements and simultaneously some value is present at the top of our stack which is less than or equal to the current element. Here I have not took current element as nums of I. I took nums of I modulo n, because wherever I need to the index, this is our output index to which output index of the is of size less than the Latin array. So that's why I took the output index instead of I. My output index is I modulo n. Whatever be the number of times I push the element from the array to that stack, I will use this value, and then this is my condition of smaller element. Then I will pop my smaller element found at the top of stack. I popped that smaller element from that stack. Okay, so after coming out of the while loop, my condition of smaller element will get finished, and after exiting the while loop, I will got the condition of the next greater element, which is this one. Push to the that I will store it to the answer first, then I will push its current value index to the stack. We are storing the value into the answer arrays we are storing the next greater element values inside this answer array at this particular index I modulo n. Our condition is that doing this thing, if our stack is empty, store -1, and if it is not empty, then this condition, this nums of s.top, this is different from this. This was the condition of a smaller element, so this was the condition of greater element. So now here we found our greater element, so we store that greater element into this answer array. Okay, then we push the index push its index into the stack, and finally at the end we return our answer, which is our next greater element. That's all.